hey, we're back. It's Mark Eifert with the Charlotte Beer Blog, and we are at World of Beer in Southend. I have here with me the brains behind a new craft beer app coming out called Craftie. We're going to talk a little bit about that. You guys actually had your launch event here. I know I was at it. It was great. Had a lot of fun. We wanted to kind of get together, and I wanted to pick your brains a little bit on what you guys are doing and what it's all about. So first and foremost, we're going to have them tell us a little bit about themselves, what they do at Craftie, and we're going to kind of go from there. So kick it off.
Sure. Well, my name's Kevin Brindley. I'm the chief creative mind behind Craftie Beer app. Came up through the creative industry as a designer, and then an art director, and then a creative director. So all the branding that you see and the visual assets and everything that will go into the user experience from the app, I'll collaborate with Brian, but those visuals will be my responsibility.
And I'm Brian Hamlet, came up in sort of the marketing education field, but always around technology. Also the chief tech brain. I handle all the interface, a lot of the interface layouts, workflows, how the system, how the platform builds. Kevin and I collaborate on that to create a great user experience.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I've seen a lot of your website so far, and a lot of like the material, and you guys put out a lot of really cool stuff. It looks great already. I haven't been able to actually obviously use the app yet.
Sure.
Excited to
That's
be able
coming
to.
though.
That's right.
Coming soon. Coming soon. So for anybody who's watching who doesn't know what the Craftie Beer app is, give us a bit of an overview about what it is, what it does, and why we should be using it.
Sure. Well, it all started in Raleigh in November. We went up there and did a tour of a bunch of breweries and felt like we needed to learn more information about the breweries and the beers themselves. And that's really the core fundamental aspect of Craftie. Is it's a Wikipedia, if you will, of beer apps, to where if you're drinking a beer, you can go on to Craftie, you can search by brewery name, beer name, style of beer, however you arrive to that particular brewery or beer, and it'll give you a bunch of robust information about the brewery itself, photographs of what the brewery looks like, profiles of the brewmaster. It'll give you a list of all their product lines. It'll tell you why they're unique.
So I know when I was actually here for the launch event, I had a lot of questions, and a lot of other people had questions too. And the one that kind of kept popping up a lot was, what's going to differentiate Craftie from the other apps out there, like Untapped, like Pintly, like all the other ones you can download from the iTunes or Android App Store?
Want me to take that one?
Sure.
I think the biggest thing that we wanted to separate ourselves from is ours is all about you and your personal relationship with the beer itself. So as opposed to checking into a beer and therefore sharing it with your friends, making your public comments about it, this is you looking up the beer that you're trying because you want to learn more about the beer itself and the brewery behind it and getting that information. So it's sort of your Wikipedia style app, if you will, as opposed to your Facebook style app for craft beer enthusiasts. So that way I get the information I want all about the beer I'm enjoying, and I can take my notes about it that are private notes.
Right. Okay.
And I can not just log beers by checking into them, because we're not, focusing on that aspect. It's I can actually track all the ones that I've tried, rate the ones that I have liked with my own rating, my notes, and even add them, let's say, to my favorites list. So if the next time I'm going to purchase some craft beer, I know the ones that I really like, and I can go find them.
Yeah, and because I've noticed, at least whenever I have beers, a lot of times is I'll go to a beer event, or I'll go to a new bar or a new brewery, or I'll even go to a festival, and all of a sudden I'm going around and I'm trying 30, 40, 50 different types of beers if I'm lucky, if I can make it that far in a day. And all of a sudden you get back and you try and take notes, but you can't, and you're trying to talk to people and they're telling you about the beers, and all of a sudden, like 30 beers later, you forget that first or second one that you had that you really, really liked.
That's right.
It seems to be a great way to be able to just sit there and say, like really quickly, I like this beer, let me mark it down, notes for a little bit later, and then you go back when you're feeling a little bit better and you're like, okay, here's exactly what I liked about it.
Exactly. And we've had someone who was actually at our public unveiling event that actually is going to help run a beer festival. That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
It's, this is perfect for those that are coming to beer festivals because there are so many different breweries, and because you are kind of shoved through the lines, hurry, select your beer, and then you got to move out of the way because the next person wants their beer.
Pushing, yeah.
Exactly. So this allows you to, since you can't speak with them, you can still learn about them while you're there trying the beer. So immediately capture those notes, move on to the next one.
Yeah.
If anything, you can add it into your tried list so you can go back to it and know what you actually tried.
How do you see Craftie in general kind of changing the way that I drink, or changing the way that I socially drink with people, even though it's not really aimed at sharing what I'm drinking, but how do you see it changing my drinking experience?
Well, we see it enhancing it because we're giving you more information and we're giving you more education about the beers you're drinking and learning more about the breweries.
Yeah.
And that's where some value comes in for the brewery owners as well. I would rather, as a brewery owner, have an app in my patrons' hands that's telling them about my unique story. They're reading about my brewmaster, how long he's been there, what makes him or her so great. They're seeing all the different product lines that we make, how long those beers have been made, what makes them differentiate themselves from other beers.
Yeah.
And that adds a lot of value to me as a user, as well as to me as a brewery owner if I were one. So we see that being something very valuable moving forward. And we kept telling ourselves during the development phase of this app and the strategy sessions that we were more focused on learning more about the beer that we're drinking at 11 o'clock on Saturday night than the beer perhaps that you were drinking Saturday night at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
That was more valuable to us as an aficionado and as an enthusiast because we wanted to learn those unique stories and we wanted to learn the personalities that make them so different.
Yeah.
Even in a social setting, one of the difficult things in some of the other apps we've seen is it's hard to communicate to someone else what's great about this beer. I can tell you my taste preferences off this beer I'm enjoying right now, but if I could tell you and you had the Craftie app just like I did, look this up, go here, you can get the details about it. You're getting more information sitting right next to me enjoying the beer as opposed to me just saying, I'm drinking this beer.
I'm drinking this beer here.
And that's it, exactly at this venue, and that's all the information you're going to get.
Now, you know, I've seen a lot of beer apps come up. There's a lot of beer websites coming up. There's a lot of just craft beer growth in general.
Exploding.
How do you see the app world or just the mobile app world surrounding craft beer, not just craft beer, but all the other apps? How do you see that pushing forward the craft beer scene into the future?
Well, I think it creates more awareness, one. I think it creates more touch points, and it provides more accessible information immediately on the spot. I mean, all the trends are saying we're maybe 12, 18 months away from mobile completely overtaking traditional computers as the device that people browse websites upon. So everybody's going mobile, everybody's looking to have instant information immediately readily available at their fingertips, to where that adds a lot of value to a craft beer enthusiast. You know, if they're at a brewery, if they're at a brew pub, if they're at a store that sells craft beer, if they're at World of Beer in South End, and they're trying a bunch of different beers, they can instantly look up and learn about that brewery and that beer.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's a fantastic value.
And one thing we made sure to do is, and it's just the way that we work professionally, is, you know, we didn't look at this as, yes, we're passionate about craft beer, but it wasn't, let's just build an app for app's sake. So we did a lot of research on the current apps that are out there, plus the audience that is out there. And if there's one thing that has exploded with the number of people trying craft beer, it's the number of people wanting to learn more about craft beer. There's this high level of drive towards, I want to know more. I don't just want to drink it, I want to learn about it.
You want to immerse yourself in the experience of your beer.
And so
it's not just about the beer, it's about who you're with, and it's about learning about how they made it or where they're from or what their thing is.
You know, and there's so many people that are entering into the joy of trying craft beer. I mean, you think about friends you may introduce for the first time, they've never tried a craft beer. You know, how do you tell them about it? How they learn about it when they're a new person into it? This is a way they can do it the minute they're drinking the beer. And as well, you know, of course they can get the information online, but it's all easy right here in your hand, as opposed to going to each brewery's website and trying to get that information.
No, I think that's fantastic, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like me, be very excited about it. If you guys out there have any questions for these guys, if you want to know, we'll put their contact information in the video. We'll also put a link to their Kickstarter campaign. Trying to get some stuff going with that. If you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments or shoot us an email. We'll be happy to answer it. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Cheers. Cheers to everybody out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we toast the blood of our enemies. You're still scared.